can't get fooled again.
Arf, hounds of heaven. Jesus loves you and is there for you. Welcome into the David L. Gray Show, off code and unscripted, where I'm speaking out things without a code and without a filter. So here we go. We are live. I got one thing for you guys today. Just a reaction to a photo op that was taken with a grand Catholic bishop from Ponce, Puerto Rico, with a local lodge of Freemasons. We're going to talk about all the whys, the what's, the who, and what, the problem with this. So, yeah, welcome into the show. So, what happened was, every Wednesday morning, you can find me on the Catholic Drive Time Show. I'm doing just a little 15-minute segment. And the Catholic Drive Time Show is the best Catholic morning show in the universe. Even when I had my show over on Guadalupe Radio Network, I just used to rave about the Catholic Drive Time Show. So it's even a great show when I'm not on there, but it is better when I'm on there for 15 minutes. I'll just say that. So what happens is usually on Tuesday, Joe McClain, who's the host of the show, and you also find Rodolfo Carlos, and Adrian Francesca there. So what happens is on Tuesday, Joe reaches out to me and he says, "Hey, anything you want to talk about tomorrow?" And if I don't have anything, Joe will send me over something, some ideas. So yesterday he sends over this story that I'm about to share with you today. And then he says, "Anything else you're thinking about?" And so I sent him over about a story that's going on in St. Louis right now with the Catholic Archdiocese there. They're getting rid of the free lunch program in the Catholic schools because of Title IX and the Biden administration trying to tie in the whole LGBT agenda into free lunch. So I sent him over that story. I wake up this morning and think we're going to talk about both. We're going to talk about this story with the Catholic bishop from Puerto Rico having a meet and greet with the Freemasons, and we're going to talk about the St. Louis thing. So that never happened. Joe just goes on with, I guess there's a miscommunication, but so it's funny how you prepared for something that doesn't happen. So anyway, so I'm going to go bring the story over here and talk about it here, because this is not good. But first, let me just give a shout out to the sponsors, people who support the channel on Patreon, and the YouTube members. And also, I'd like to thank all of you who support the channel with your please like, and your shares, please share, and hitting that notification bell. Hit the notification bell. Make sure you guys follow me on Rumble. Sometimes I do get suspended from YouTube. And please like me on all the social media platforms. Follow me there on Facebook, the Twitter, and Rumble, Instagram too. I don't have many followers on Instagram, but I post pictures about biking and sometimes some shorts, some videos. So not a whole lot going on over there, but yeah, follow me there as well. So anyway, yeah, let me transition into this story. All right, so here we go. So this is what happened. So this is the bishop of the Diocese of Ponce, Puerto Rico, that you can see in this picture here. Let me blow it up a little for you there. He is in the middle. And his name is Ruben Gonzalez. And he's been the bishop of Puerto Rico since about 2015, I believe. So he's a Francis bishop, and we'll get more into that part of the story in a minute. So, and this picture was shared on the Twitter account of Amaleas Rico, I think how you pronounce his name. And he says in his comment here about the picture, he says, "To be fair, when he began being a bishop, there was a meet and greet with the community, and it was open to everyone. For some reason, the local lodge sent those guys. The bishop was dumb enough to have the picture taken of them, but the way he runs the diocese makes the picture more suspicious." So I don't know when the picture was taken. All I know that is the bishop in the middle of the picture, and those are Freemasons around him. So let's talk about what's going on here. So apparently there's this meet and greet, right? And these aren't just any run of the mill Freemasons in this picture. These are members, I think, from the Lodge of Ponce, Puerto Rico. That'd be Aurora Lodge number 7. And these are the leading lodge officers of that lodge. The gentleman that you see in the middle to the left of the bishop with the beard is the worshipful master of the lodge. He is the elected leader of the lodge, sort of like a president, you would say, in like another organization. So he is the worshipful master of the lodge. He's the highest ranking officer in the lodge. And being that the third degree is the highest degree in craft Freemasonry, which is all Freemasonry is, everything beyond the third degree is what's called, Masonic orders, more light, right? So he is the highest ranking officer in a lodge of Freemasonry. So he has all the power, all the control. So that's who is on the bishop's left. And you could tell from the worship master's apron that is purple with a square on the flap, a T square on the flap. And you see the Masonic symbol in the under the flap, under the fringe. And then you see another 90-degree angle underneath the square and compass. So that indicates that not only is he a worshipful master of the lodge, indicated by his collar, where there's a square, but he's also a past master of the lodge, which I believe is Aurora Lodge number 7. So, um, so he's a person who's been around quite a while. So he's been a master of the lodge once. That's what it means that you're a past master. And to be a past master, it means that so you have your 3 degrees, your inner apprentice, fellow craft, and master mason degree. But you've also been elected to the highest office, which means you also have been installed in what's called the past master degree. So the past master degree is only a degree you receive actually when you become an elected worship master of the lodge. Now, if you go into some other Masonic orders, such as the Royal Arch, you may receive an honorary past master degree, right? So he's been around quite a while. To the bishop's right is another, as you see, another past master, according to his apron. But according to the emblem on his collar, the working tool there, he's also the senior warden, which means he's second in line to the worshipful master. And so what it says, so you have 2 lodge officers here who are past masters of a lodge who are running the lodge. So what that tells you about the lodge of this lodge is that it's a rather small lodge. It's a rather small lodge. And I'm sorry, I had to double check that. So to the right of the bishop is the junior warden. Okay, so that's the plumb line around his neck. So he's a junior warden. I'm sorry about that. And so what this indicates here is that this is a rather small lodge. Usually when a person becomes worship master and then are no longer in office, they've left office, the past master doesn't go back into the seat typically. He usually sits on the sideline. He advises the new worship master, sort of like a committee of people that the presiding worship master can turn to for wisdom and guidance. Like, okay, what did you do in your turn when you're worship master? So it's a pool, it's a bench that the worship master can turn to get some sort of help. Right. So that's the role of the past master. And so this indicates, so you have a past master serving as worshipful master and as junior warden, which is the third ranking officer in the lodge, indicates that this is a small lodge. They're recycling past masters. Okay. Now, to the right of the junior warden is a man wearing just a plain lambskin apron, nothing on it, which typically indicates that he's he's just a newly initiated master mason. He's fresh. Okay. So the lodge officers brought him, this gentleman, with them. Okay, they like him. They want to move him up, and so he probably has a lot of piss and vinegar. He's excited to be here, right? So freshly minted master mason, recently raised to the sublime degree of master mason. Now, across from him, nearest to you, with the red apron with just the square and compass on it, he's wearing what's called the symbol of a level on his collar, which indicates that he is the senior warden. He is the second highest ranking officer in the lodge. So everyone is here. He is not a past master, so he's moving up in the ranks. So I don't know how many terms that he was served, the worship master serves in the rural lodge, but probably since the worship master is a past master, he's only going to serve 1 year, and then the senior warden is going to go ahead and move up. So, uh, and then to his right, I can't tell what is on that gentleman's collar, but looking at his apron, he is also a past master. So you have 3 past masters of this lodge here that's doing this photo op with the bishop. Okay. So, in the bishop, he has an interesting posture here. I don't look too much into postures, but it is something to be said here that look at his feet. His feet are in the position of a square. So, 90-degree square, which is how any master mason is supposed to stand. The newly minted master mason, he's standing with his feet square, his heels touching, his feet pointed out in the 90 degrees. A few other people here, they're being sloppy. They're not standing in an upright position like a master mason should stand. So, but that the bishop is, and his feet are on point. I mean, that's a good square that he's standing on, right? So I don't know if he is an initiated Freemason, but so there's a lot of weird things going on here. And so this bishop, like I said, he was appointed by Francis. This is Bishop Ruben Gonzalez Medina, and he was appointed by Pope Francis in, looks like, in 2015. And he says, when an apostolic delegate told me that Pope Francis has chosen me, I asked, but why? Bishop Gonzalez Medina told Catholic News Service by phone that he told me the Pope wants a missionary there. So missionary work is what he's doing, obviously, here. He's going out to this meet and greet. He's meeting the people. Along in that is this lodge of Freemasons that have come out, right? Now, why did they come out? And that's an interesting question. Why did they come out to meet the new bishop? Is he a member? Do they know him to be a Freemason? What does it benefit them to take a picture with the Catholic bishop? So the bishop knows full well about the Catholic Church's prohibition against Freemasonry. It's been in place since 1738. It's never changed. So he's at least heard it. I mean, I think that's a fair assessment. And the Freemasons as well. They've heard about the prohibition. When I was a Freemason, I knew about the prohibition, at least from the Catholic perspective, what they teach. I knew about that. I think it wouldn't be unfair to say that most Freemasons, a large number, maybe 80%, have sometime heard about the prohibition of the Catholic Church, because you notice, because when we're going through, we're bringing in new members, this conversation always comes up about, okay, what religion are they? And if it's a Catholic, there's always this conversation. So they know about this. So what's going on here? What's the interest of the lodge? And why is the bishop okay with this? There was a point in time in the 1700s in the Catholic Church, I think during the pontificate of Benedict XIV, and Pius the Ninth, that it was clear that even if you had any association whatsoever with Freemasons, you let them rent out one of your rooms, you had them over for dinner, that was an opportunity for excommunication. You were not allowed to have any association whatsoever with Freemasons, none whatsoever. So what the bishop is doing here at this meet and greet by posing with these Freemasons is contrary to just the historic teaching, the discipline concerning the prohibition against Freemasonry. So there's the prohibition and then there's the discipline. The discipline has changed, of course, over time. So, but he's not the contrary to what had been a prohibition just a few hundred years ago. So we covered the what's going on here. We covered the who, we covered the why. We really don't know why this would happen. But we could talk about the big problem here. Like what's the problem? Why can't a bishop just have a meet and greet with some Freemasons? Right? Why can't the bishop just maybe build some bridges, build some relationships, be be amicable, have some sort of friendly relationship with the Freemasons? What's the problem with that? Well, the problem is that it promotes indifferentism. If the church teaches that Catholics are not allowed to be Freemasons, that you're excommunicated if you become one, then the bishop having this friendly meet and greet with the Freemasons, it sends a signal that, well, wait, well, maybe the church teaching did change on this. Maybe there is some question here. Maybe there is some movement. And this is really an opportunity for the Freemasons to use this photo op as an opportunity in a country like Puerto Rico, where you do have a lot of Catholics, to use it as an opportunity to people, again, in this very small lodge. Obviously they're a dying lodge, this Aurora Lodge number 7, perhaps, I think it is. They're a dying lodge. They're recycling past masters to be officers. So they're dying off in a Catholic country, and they can use this photo op as opportunity to recruit and say, oh, Catholics in the country say, oh, no, I can't be a Freemason. Catholic Church against, hey. And they say, hey, we took this picture with the bishop. The bishop's okay with us. Look at his feet. He's even standing on a square. Right? God forbid the bishop is a member. So this is not a good look for anyone involved. So that's what's going on. I wanted to share that with you, and to it goes back into what I was saying. Uh, you know, I've been talking about on and off a little bit, just about what Freemasonry looks like in the Caribbean and the islands, and I'll lump Puerto Rico and Cuba into that thing. Is that there is a strand of Freemasonry that's been developing over a long time that's coming out of Haiti that is very syncretic. Is combining Freemasonry with Catholicism, with voodoo, and is blending all these things together, and it's becoming very pervasive. This isn't the first bishop who's had an affair with the Freemasons. I talked about another one. I think it was in I forget where it's at, but I have an older video where I'm talking about a bishop in one of the islands where he's meeting with Freemasons. I talked about how this new form of Freemasonry is seeping into Louisiana, where it's pervasive there. I've talked about how hundreds of members of the Catholic organization called the Knights of Peter Claver, how they are Freemasons. So it continues to creep in and creep in, and what the effect is, again, I say this time and time again, what the effect is that even for the guys who are not into the esoteric stuff, the guys who are just going to the meeting and get away from the wife, the more exposure you have to people and organizations and ideas that deny Jesus Christ, the more you allow that to be digested into your intellect, into your mind, the more you become like what you expose yourself to. So people who have prolonged exposure to Freemasonry that denies Jesus Christ, they, in their actions and in their words, also begin to deny Jesus Christ. I see it time and time again. So that's the effect that this has when you have Catholics becoming more involved with organizations like this that deny Jesus Christ. The church begins to look like it. And we see that whether it's card carrying Freemasons or people just infested with the key principle of Freemasonry, which is indifferentism. We see it throughout the church today. And that's part of the situation that we're in. Um, and why the church is just going the route of being indifferent towards who we are as human beings and our sexual identity, who we're created to be sexually. So it's all indifferentism, and it's not good. So that's all I have to say about that for now. Make sure you guys again like the video, share it if you like. Make sure you click the sponsor link to the Saintmaker, the Catholic Daily Planner. Check it out. I think it benefits you, benefits me, especially the part in the Saintmaker that you do every day, where you get an opportunity to do your collection, your examination at the end of the day, and just plan your day out spiritually. You know, we can do a good job, I think, as a people of planning out our day when it comes to things that we have to do, dentist appointment, work, this appointment, that appointment, right? But have you ever planned your day out spiritually? Just planned your day out spiritually. What you're going to do? 3 o'clock, I'm pray to divine mercy. 5 o'clock, I'm going to do my readings and my prayers. This time, I'm going to do. And at the end of the day, I'm going to do my examination. These are the things I'm going to work on today. What issues I'm having? These are things I'm going to work on. So, playing your day out spiritually, that way, I think you're closer to being on the path that every saint of the Catholic Church has been. Every saint of the Catholic Church planned their day out spiritually. So I think the Saintmaker can help you do that. Try it out. If it doesn't help you, send me the receipt. I'll refund you. So that's all I know about that. Let me get to your comments before I head out of here. Alexandra says, good morning. Good morning, Alexandra. Rob, good morning. Despite another bishop egregiously ignoring church law and tradition. Yeah. Lord be Dan. Oh my, what are these bishops up to now? Good morning. I'm late to the party. Yeah. This was just an impromptu show. I didn't plan to do it, but Joe McClain over at Catholic Drive Time show, he caught me off guard. So yeah. So yeah, let me get out of here and I will see you on the later. Love you all. Thanks for being my friends.